So once you've learned to play a few chords on the guitar, the next thing that's really challenging is learning to switch between them cleanly while still keeping time. There may be some really frustrating pauses, or in the rush to get to the next chord, you may not be able to land it cleanly. The exercise I'm going to show you in this video is really the best way to work on all those problems in practice. So as an example, let's take an E chord and an A chord, which are often two of the first chords you might learn on the guitar. Just in case you haven't played these yet, starting at string number 5, which is the second down from the top, I fret my middle finger on the second fret. On string number 4, my ring finger on the second fret. On string number 3, my index finger on the first fret. All the other strings are open. My pinky's not doing anything, it's just an optical illusion. The A chord is going to be my index, middle, and ring, all stacked onto the second fret of strings 4, 3, and 2. And for that one, you just want to strum the bottom 5 strings. Okay, so the exercise is this. It's basically to just sit there for a few minutes and practice going back and forth over and over between whatever the two chords are that are giving you trouble in transitioning between. Try to speed it up as you go. But if you think of it this way, when you play a song, let's say the song's 3 minutes long, you're going to transition between those chords however many times happens in the song, maybe a couple dozen. But in 3 minutes with this exercise and practice, you can get a whole lot more transitions between the chords. And it's a really efficient way to practice where you can really get the fingers warmed up and really confident in where they're going. Really enhances your muscle memory. The last thing that's worth doing is also this. Without even playing the chord sometimes, it might be worth sitting there and kind of watching your fingers travel from chord to chord. You can see, for instance, when I go from E to A, these two fingers, my middle and ring, they pretty much don't move at all. They come down a little bit, but the shape that they're in stays exactly the same. As the index finger, it just kind of does this little hop over on top of those fingers. So this is another thing that can be really key. It might not be super exciting, but taking a moment to just kind of trace the most concise path that your fingers can travel from chord to chord, that can be also very helpful in complementing that exercise. The last thought I'll say is, even if you are working on fairly advanced chords later on in your playing life, for me, when I started to learn some, jazz chords and things like that, I used to have to really use this exercise a lot with practicing those transitions. So it's one of those ones that, even though it was very useful to me when I was first starting to play, I still use it to this day if I'm just trying to work on a tough transition from one chord to another. All right, I hope you find it to be useful too in your practice.